I'm going to help you all understand what we've been learning about that subject. Um,
So basically, this is for public safety's channel owner Chris. Chris has been going through harassment tactics and threats, and he's been going through what I've noticed, like without a doubt, obvious. It's so obvious. It's not even funny. Is he's being gang stalked. He's absolutely being gang stalked, and it's by the same groups of people that I from the very beginning of my stalking and harassment, from the same very same groups of people that was doing it to me, and I wasn't online. I didn't talk to anybody. These guys are making noise. They're doing it in Kentucky and Indiana, different states, different agencies, different. You know what I mean? There's enough of a distance there that the chances that the very exact same specific tactics, right, that are being done to these people, that are being done to me and other targeted individuals, right? Um, it's sorry, it's too much of a coincidence, right? I don't believe in coincidence. It's just obvious. Let's just say it, right? Let's just call it what it is. Um, it's the same fucking thing. What they're going through. Okay. Now I have yet to hear Chris acknowledge or mention the term gang stalking. I just might have missed it, but he doesn't mention the targeted individuals or anything like that. Not that doesn't mean he doesn't know all about it, but um, I just want to point out, you know, to anybody who doesn't already know, or anybody who isn't sure, and for anybody who tries to say otherwise, this is who's behind it. This is who's doing it, and uh, you know, I'm going to call it out, right? And this is a very important video. He put this out yesterday. They're making a whole bunch of noise. They took down the Meade County, Kentucky sheriff for his corruption, just misconduct, uh, you know, criminal charges for the misconduct he was displaying, and in a public fashion on YouTube. And he was the sheriff that was he was involved with the show 60 Days In. Okay, so it's ironic. I thought it was classic. It was you can't make this shit up. They just finished it up. He actually got 60 days in. He got sentenced to 60 days in jail. The Sheriff Jamie Knoll, in Meade County, Kentucky. Okay, and this is the guy that exposed that whole thing. They didn't have like a group or any type of you know not like a group of people or a committee. No, just two people. This guy and his wife Tiffany exposed these people. They did it all on their own through just hard work, a lot of hard work, a lot of uh, a lot of risk to them and their family, and a lot of fucking harassment and just the shit they went through to do this to bring transparency and bring truth out, right? And bring justice for the community and for people at large, right? And the amount of torture and just assaults they get are just ridiculous. Anybody who sees this should be appalled. This should, if you're not already aware of what's going on, this should wake you up and piss you off and force you to stop what you're doing and pay attention, you know, and start doing your part if you haven't already. If you're not aware of this, okay, because there's so many people that are public officials, taxpayer dollar paid public servants and public officials that I'm assuming, I'm claiming that I think they're spending your taxpayer dollars to do this, right? But that are openly stalking and harassing and threatening this guy and his wife, and they're just nothing but good, decent people trying to do the right thing for everybody else, not even for themselves. They had their rights violated, and they had an excessive use of force by tyrants. That's usually how everybody gets into this subject, And once they peek through the door, they peek into this realm. There's no going back, because that's it. You realize real quick that it's corrupt through to the core, every bit of it, in every level, right? In every different agency involved, from the probation to the police to the prosecutor to the judges to the courts to the internal, they're all, to the jail, okay, to the prison guards, they're all fucking corrupt, to the damn fucking drug dealers walking on the street in your town. They're involved as well, because the cops are letting them go, and they're paying them, and they're fucking using them to do their stalking and harassing. It's so crazy, right? That the amount of risk that the public is actually, you know, the public safety is at risk. Like, if people knew the truth, right? The amount of risk that the police are putting, you know, are putting on you. They're they're putting your public safety at risk knowingly, doing this with known people that are the worst kind of people you can imagine, and they're knowingly doing this. And that's what was important at the beginning of my thing. When I realized that they're fucking paying heroin addicts and shit to stalk me and harass me, and these are the same group of people that are deleting my security camera shit, right? That means that they can basically do this to anybody anytime they want. They can have anything they want. They can shut anybody up that they want, and they have a habit, right? They're fucking junkies, and the cops are knowingly doing this, and they're gonna work even harder to cover this up and protect the junkies, because they're implicated as well. You see what I'm saying? You see how big of a deal this is? I don't think people realize how big of a fucking deal this is. Just how big of a deal this is. I don't care why they're doing it. If they want to try to justify it, I don't care what the reason is. It's not right. It doesn't matter. I don't care what the fuck it is. I don't care if it's national security or not. Public safety, period. You can shove your national security up your ass because it's a load of shit, right? It's just a load of shit, a line of bullshit. If I'm on some list or something, because there's so many people like me that are experiencing the same shit, right? Whatever's going on, there's people that know, right? And if you don't know, then they don't have your best interest in mind. I can promise you that. And if you don't know, and you even take a risk of believing me even a little bit, I promise, um, you're gonna want to know. As soon as you peek through the door and you see any part of this, okay, you're gonna be appalled. And we need you. We need everybody, every single person, every good man, woman, and everybody with a voice that has the ability to spread awareness and speak their mind about this, and so that we can bring attention to it, so that we can shut it down before people get hurt. People have already been hurt and killed. Okay, lives have been ruined. If you do nothing, you're gonna look back at this time in history, and you're gonna be able to tell your grandkids about this. And are you gonna be able to proudly tell them about this time in history, because you were a of part of history, making history? Or are you going to hang your head in shame and hope they don't ask you questions about it, because you don't want to have to admit that you were one of the bad guys, one of the people that just turned their head and did nothing whenever they were rounding people up, putting them in fucking prison camps, right? I'm just saying, it's it's that bad, okay? So we're gonna watch Chris's video here. Yesterday he went to the DA's office, okay, to file charges, because he can't even go to the cops. Okay, the cops won't do it. He and it's highly important. It's extremely necessary that he files these charges, or his life's in danger. What has empowered all these people to do this to this point, at this point, is everybody, fear, and people's inability to act, and just so many people not taking that step and not doing anything, right, has given them this power, and they think they're immune. They think that they'll get away with this forever. And I got news for them. They're idiots. Sorry, it's coming down. I think it's going to happen sooner than later. But um, if you got some catching up to do, you better hurry up and catch up and find out about about everything what's going on here because you might be involved and not even know it, right? Because what they like to do is they like to deceive people and manipulate people into doing their dirty work, and they don't even know they're doing it, and then they throw those people under the bus. I promise, if there's anything that you're responsible for your own actions, if there's anything you're doing that there's a chance that somebody lied to you and you're breaking the law, you better check. You better check yourself before they fucking throw you under the bus, right? Because I'm sure they have a plan to you know to put the blame on somebody. I'm sure, I guarantee that they already have a plan to put the blame on somebody for all this. There's gonna be accountability. There is gonna be accountability, no matter what. Now, I don't think that everybody involved is gonna be held accountable. That's almost impossible. There's too many people involved. So what are they gonna do? They're just gonna have to make an example, and they're gonna have some people. You know, the public. The people need to see blood, right? Just like in Rome. Give the people what they want, and they'll love you for it. Whatever. It's the court of public opinion is the most important court, the only court that's going to matter moving forward here. You understand what I'm saying? The courts, the legal courts, the law enforcement, those courts, they're not going to matter as much moving forward here. If you understand what I mean, they're not. The court of public opinion is going to determine the future. It's going to determine how this all plays out. So I'm just listen. I'm just sharing information. I'm just putting it out there, giving what I see happening. Okay, and trying to get people's attention. The boulder's coming down the hill. Look out! Move out of the way. Okay, so let's watch this here. And in his situation, he explains a lot of things, and I respect Chris like more than you can imagine because he has the balls and he has the no fear and the intuition and the drive to do it, to take that extra step and do it, despite the risks to his and his wife's and his family's safety, because he understands what I understand, that not doing anything is worse. You might think, oh, I don't want to talk bad about the cops or they'll hurt me or come after me. No, if you don't say anything, that's when they'll hurt and they'll kill you. That is what gives them their power. Do you understand me? Power resides where people believe it resides, and you know the best. I forget. We're just gonna play this, okay? I could go on all day about this.
So when you go to the police agency and file a criminal report, they're separate agencies. That's right, Joey. Oh, you did, Stephanie? Thank you. All right. Well, those poor guys are going to lose their people that are watching. Maybe they'll come watch this too. I'll keep it short. We're going to keep this brief. So, uh, if you go to a police agency in Kentucky and you file a police report, like I did at the DA's office, then basically what's going to happen there in that situation, first of all, there has to be someone willing to take your report, which you've seen in our previous videos. KSP has told us that they will not take any reports on JJ. And the report that I just filed was in fact on JJ. And it's every bit of the truth. Like we're not filing, you know, extravagant, made up anything in those reports. It's exactly what's going on. And we're not even putting everything that he's done in there. It would be a book. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Joe. You said KSP wouldn't even when we had the flat out proof of Kentucky revised statute violations. That's correct. The lieutenant at KSP flat out said, "We're not going to do it," and then told us to go to the DA's office last time we were there. Now, what he meant was, if it's pertaining to Scarborough, then you're not going to do it. So we already knew that it would be pointless to go over to KSP. We've already been told that they're not going to do it, and more KRS violations continue to happen. What that group was doing was literally felony. Um, Being at my court hearing is not illegal, not in itself, but following us around is harassment for one, with the intent to cause alarm. That's how the statute reads. So if you don't have any public interest or business to do, like if they didn't have business to do, in other words, if they didn't have any business at that courthouse at all, then that's one element to prove that they're following me. Then, of course, they published it saying they were following me and Tiffany. So, I mean, that's another element to the statute. Got it. Bill M says stalking. Actually, stalking charges are just a little bit different. The statute to stalking is just a little bit different, and that's specific in Kentucky. It was harassment, intimidation, and intimidation of participants in a legal process. Hey, Donna, Jerry, what's up? We got some people coming in here now. Um, so, and maybe they will find elements if they watch the video to stalking. Who knows? I mean, it's possible that more charges would come if they actually investigate this. What's up, John? Good to see you here. Now, we went to the DA because Kentucky State Police at Post 4 has already declined to take a report if it involves JJ. Now, since this report did involve JJ, we just went straight to the DA. This time, there's no sense in running in circles. So, why would someone go to the DA's office?
Now, just to catch anybody up, if you don't already know this, JJ, when he's referring to JJ is the jailer for the Meade County. Okay, Meade County, Kentucky. He's the jailer. He's an elected official. Okay, so he's elected by the people. Um, so there's, you know what I mean. That's a big difference there too. And he is openly um, doing this on YouTube. He's coming on YouTube, and they all get together, and they openly do this like they don't care. They like admit that they're doing this. Okay, and it's the one deputy from the sheriff's office actually physically assaulted, with illegal use of force on his wife Tiffany, and that's what kind of kickstarted this whole process. They were just going to do a FOIA request, and they were recording, and it's their right. And they sent over these fucking tyrants from the sheriff's office, um, which are every state's a little different, I think, but the sheriff's office is basically in charge of the jail, right? That's the way I see it, or the courthouse and everything. Anyway, they're in here we're in Cambry County, Pennsylvania. The way our sheriffs operate, they go and serve warrants, and they transport prisoners, and they're the security for the courthouse, for any of the county buildings. Um, there's they don't go around patrolling, but they're like the muscle for for the law enforcement, for the courts. The muscle for the courts. They're like the courts police department, basically. They don't have a jurisdiction each in a town. They have the whole county. Like each county has their own sheriffs. So anyway, and then Louisiana, I think, is the only state they have they have parishes and not counties, but whatever. Anyway, JJ is the jailer. Okay, he's the jailer, and then you have Michael Kaiser, who is just he's in trouble. He got off on like murder charges or something. Okay, he's in this little good old boy gang as well, right? And he's picked up a big following. And what they do is they they recruit anybody they can, right? That will hate on somebody for coming after police. Like they use the auditor, First Amendment auditor subject, right? And they try to tell everybody that, oh, these people just do it to, they're fishing for a reaction. That's the only reason they're doing it is to try to grift and make money by harassing cops, and that's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit. Okay, sorry if you're buying that. If you believe that, then you don't care about free speech. You don't give two shits about your rights and free speech. Okay, and if that's what they're doing, listen, let them go. Why is there such a big movement to push back against them? Right? There's there's just as many frauditor channels as there are auditor channels. Okay, and I'm telling you, it's because there's money being pumped into it, and they're paying people to do this to shut it down. Okay, and then they're stalking and harassing all these auditors. Auditors are getting their rights violated. There's civil rights violations like every single fucking auditor that goes out and records the police or does auditing post office or films in public. Really, is all they're doing is trying to educate everybody and say, hey, if you didn't know this already, um, you know, we're going to educate you. It's your constitutionally protected right to film anything you can see with your eyes while you're in a public place. Okay? And a lot of people don't know that. They just don't know that because we have drifted so far from our roots, from our Constitution, our constitutional rights, and we're gonna lose them. We're losing all. We're losing fucking rights left and right here. If people don't even know what their rights are and what's legal and what's not. So this is such an important thing that they're doing, right? First Amendment auditors, that it just blows my mind that anybody would attack them, that anybody would attack the subject. It's just disgusting to me, okay, that people do that. Disgusting. Absolutely fucking horrendous that people would do that. But they do, okay? You can't. You can give people the information, but you can't force them to understand it. You can't fix stupid. Some people just they have to learn things the hard way. But anyway, that's what Frauditor Wrangler. Okay, Michael Kaiser. His channel is Frauditor Wrangler. I think he's a fucking douchebag, and he's him and JJ Scarborough, and I forget the other one's name. The one that actually assaulted his wife Tiffany. They're all buddy buddy on YouTube. They want to be YouTube famous, and they do the actual physical following him around and harassing him, publicly harassing him and everything, right? And the intimidation shit. It's like they're obsessed. It's like their life. It's not only they're not only doing it to, you know, to for self-preservation, right? To discredit him and silence him. They get a kick out of it. They enjoy doing it. Do you understand? It's fucking gang stalking. Listen, it's what it is. It's hard to prove intent though, so believe me, I think he's absolutely being stalked if he could prove, well, group stalking, not just stalking, group stalking. If he, could show a pattern of behavior that suggested intent. If he could prove that a group of people all collectively had intentions to stalk and harass him, it it levels it way up to a much worse crime. I don't know about in Kentucky, but if there is a statute for group stalking or community stalking harassment, it's going to be a much worse crime than harassment. But harassment with intimidation during a police or during a court proceeding or whatever during a that's a big deal too. That's a real big deal. That's like obstruction of justice. You know, that's bad. So anyway, I just wanted to let anybody know if you don't already understand the situation. When he talks about JJ, that's who he filed charges on yesterday. Tried to at the DA's office, and I watched that video yesterday. It's unreal. The DA's office, they're all in on it. They treated him like They were mad at him because he wanted to use our public services, right? Our elected officials, our elected DA, it's taxpayer funded. He wanted to utilize that, do all the work himself, pretty much, and they fucking they were absolutely horrendous and ridiculous to this guy, right? They shut him down and wouldn't even talk about what he's trying to report, the crimes he's trying to report. Wouldn't even talk to him. You see what they do here? You understand? Where do you go next? If you can't even get a report to start with, there's nothing to complain to the attorney general about. Nothing. You can't complain to the attorney general or the DOJ if there's nothing on paper to go off of. You're just kind of talking about stuff. There's no documentation, investigation. There's nothing already on paper. That's the problem. Even getting anything started, right? You can do all the work yourself. It doesn't matter if you don't have a single person that's willing to put it on record for you. So that's where I was at. It's the DA told me to call the state police. I called them. They told me to call the DA back. I called them. They told me to call the state police back. It was a fucking game, you know. So here we go.
What's the difference if a person filled it out at the police station or filled it out at the district attorney's office? I can answer that question. The difference is that when you go to the police and you hand them something and you say, "I'm here to file a report," the individual officer that takes your report, the one that's delegated to do your report, would look at that evidence and decide on their own
Yeah.
if they could stand for it in court. If they will put their signature as the acting officer to file with the prosecutor. Well, what I did skips that process because cops just don't want to be the one to go to court against another officer in their system.
Right. They have a code.
We're talking about JJ here. They would probably do it on Greg Brent in a heartbeat if it was just him, or even maybe on Ernie, or even Ernie's wife. They might do it like that. But considering that JJ was sitting in the front row with him, and he is an elected official, there aren't many officers who are brave enough to take that on. So, of course, they're going to say, "You go do it. You be the one to sign your name to that thing. Do it directly with the prosecutor. You turn it into the prosecutor. I don't want to do it." That's what they're telling us.
I just want to point out the thumbnail. The thumbnail that I'm gonna put on this video, if it's not already there, the thumbnail on this video is a picture, okay, of the the sheriff of, I think it is Meade County, Kentucky. It might be Indiana. I'm not sure. Either way, the county doesn't matter. The point is the woman in the picture of this thumbnail is going to be the sister of the sheriff for this location, okay, where they're at. And like, if you watch the video, she's absolutely gang stalking them. She shows up and harasses them openly. So they use their family members and everything. And I'm gonna point out, she's wearing a red shirt. They always fucking wear red, right? And that's a tactic that they use because it's been proven that red is more likely to trigger a person. It's the studies have been shown and been proven that red is more likely to get you to lash out or to get you to make a more rash decision, right? The color red. Same thing with the LED lights. It's all to try to trigger you, to get you to hit them, to provoke you to violence, right? So then they can do what they want to do the whole time. They're trying to get you to break the law or whatever. Everything is designed to get you, to go postal, so to speak. But anyway, yeah, that woman is the sheriff's sister, and she doesn't care either. She's like, they all feel protected, like they're immune, like they're not even worried about getting in trouble. They show up to somebody who already has a camera running, has a YouTube channel, and then they openly harass them. Okay, with the same fucking tactics, right? The red shirt shit, and they make up lies about them, and they focus on stupid, tiny little details that don't matter just to distract them and and then they all group together and they pretend like they're just normal people, and they send plants into their channel and pretend to be normal people that gaslight them into thinking that people actually believe these fucking idiots. But nobody believes these idiots. They're all the idiots. They're all, it's all just a big fucking show. They're putting up a brick wall, a barrier to make sure the public doesn't fucking hear what you're saying. Pretty much. Pretty much. They do a really good job at that. They've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. Joey says you skipped the blue line hurdle. That's right. It's not outside of the process. It actually is very much an available process to the civilians. Jerry said breaks. What was that in pertaining to? Sorry, I missed the first part of your sentence. So it still has to be investigated, though, but it's up to the DA to determine which investigation agency is going to take that after they have what they need to substantiate that there is, in fact, KRS violations,
The
which
DA,
was that's easy for us to prove in this case.
the DA has their own investigators as well.
Absolutely easy. There is no question about KRS violations being committed against us at all. And we actually have made calls to even KSP who agree that they say, if what you're saying that you have to give us is in fact what you say it is, then yeah, there's KRS violation that needs to be handled here. So individual officers agree. Now they have not seen the videos or the text messages or the phone registry or any of that yet because they're scared of their bosses. They're waiting on their boss, just one boss, to say, okay, yeah, protect these people with the legal system that they pay for.
Yeah,
And I do pay taxes in Kentucky, you all.
they're doing it.
I
They're
live in Indiana,
protecting.
but my business
They're protecting the
operates in both
junkies.
Indiana and Kentucky, and I pay taxes for that.
They're
What's
protecting the
up, Carl? It
junkies
is the good old boy system. Absolutely, 100%.
because they're protecting
Ernie,
their own
Donna
house.
asks, who's Ernie? Ernie is one of the jailers. He was the first person to start calling to harass me on my cell phone the very day that we turned in a records request with Scarborough. So, in other words, Scarborough was giving my phone number to the jailers the the same day that we did a records request and gave him that information, and having them call to harass us. What's up, King? Good to see you in here. Now, so
And not to throw fam my family under the bus, my brother, but he's made his bed. He can lie in it. Um, I haven't talked about this much. I think I might have mentioned it once. The reason that he's involved in this, I believe, is because for years when he lived at my dad's, he had an open line of communication with the sheriff's department where he would call and feed them information, license plate numbers, and names. I don't know if he provided pictures or video. Probably he had a video camera pointed directly at the neighbor's house. Right, the neighbor was a known. He's not alive anymore, but the neighbor was a known drug user, and not that it wasn't the best type of people going there. But my brother went out of his way and voluntarily would feed the sheriff's information. Okay, so he's in their little gang, right? He's in their fucking gang, which would empower him to think that he can get away with this without getting in trouble because he's buddy buddy with the sheriffs. Okay, he's already paid his dues and given all a bunch of information. They're not going to do anything to him, right? You see what I'm saying? Um, but I think he either way he made a choice. He made the choice to do this to me, and I think he made the choice to do this to me out of spite, I believe, because I exposed what he was trying to do to my dad. They were trying to convince everybody that my dad was crazy and have him committed, and I believe so they could take his fucking house. Okay, there's no other reason. It all started because they lived there for a while. My dad just asked for some help with the electric bill. That's it. And that's what started all this. That's what started all this. And they wouldn't help. They threw a fit, and he said, "Okay, well, you got 2 months. Um, at that time, you can pay me $400 a month rent. If not, you can move out." He gave them 2 months time, and in 2 months, they really ramped it up. But in that 2 months time, they they started planting all kinds of seeds online, and I have the chats online from his Facebook, and all these people chiming in these comment threads, right, where he's trying to paint the picture that my dad's crazy. They're all people that work in the fucking court system and in the jail, right? It's so fucking obvious and clear. This is a game. This is nothing new. They've been doing this to people for a long time, I'd imagine. It's just a lot of people probably don't realize it, that they do this to everybody. Is it's Believe me, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, but it's worse than I thought. It keeps getting worse than I thought. At first, I thought not all cops are bad. There's just a couple bad ones. Um, then I then I thought, well, maybe it's just certain departments are bad, and and they probably just feed lies to the prosecutor. The prosecutor's got to be good people, right? And then the public defender, they actively all fucking slowly, one by one. I came to the absolute realization that they are all involved, every fucking one of them, down to the fucking junkies they have following you around, right? And I've heard of cases where people would get their stuff stolen from these junkies. And you know why? Because they had access to the technology, right? They knew when they could come and go and what they would be able to get away with. So not even needing the protection of the sheriffs and the law enforcement, they just had access to the fucking to the to the technology they could use, exploit. So they could pinpoint their thefts and shit, right? And if these people would try to make a claim on it, right? Make a claim on these individuals, well then the law enforcement would go out of their way to protect those people because they knew that these people have dirt on them, right? So that's what it's become. Everybody has dirt on each other, and nobody will fucking say anything because they're all fucking corrupt, okay? Including my brother. Sorry, Ed, you made your bed, you can lie in it.
So what I wanted to go over mostly here is this: we went directly to the DA. We wrote on that paper the statutes that were being violated and how so in this particular matter. And we said, we have the evidence in hand for you. And on top of that, you know, I'm allowed to speak with any prosecutor in the world about things. There's only one thing that I don't talk to the prosecutor about when I have my own attorney or an attorney on the case, and it is that particular case matter. It, what happened to us had nothing to do with the Hardin County case. What was going on in that police report had nothing to do with the Hardin County case.
Hardin County, okay.
Um, it was literally a criminal report on irrelevant things to that case. What's up, TB? If they
Tyrants,
find out who TB is, he's
tyrants
going to be
beware.
next to be harassed the way we are.
Tyrants beware. Yep,
Um,
that's
they've
right.
already started doing it to Old Sarge. Y'all know who that is, I believe. They started doing it.
Tyrants beware. That's where I got my the opening, the intro song to my videos on my channel. Tyrants beware. So
To him. David Finkel is what he goes by on YouTube, and Old Sarge. Um, if something is going to be done against someone, 99% of the time, that person won't be told. Yeah. Now, I think that the people that are doing this to us are being so obvious about it that them knowing that we're going to report it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They know that we're going to report it. I mean, it's not like we've ever given them any reason to think that we wouldn't report them. They're just not afraid of it because they think that they have protection of the blue line buddy system. Um, and they do to an extent, but that extent has an extent, and
exactly,
it is going to end. Um,
absolutely.
That's right. Who said that? Let me see. Let me go back just a little in chat here. Joey, you nailed it. He said, here's something people need to know about Kaiser, always saying Chris isn't licensed. Chris is self employed. He also does a lot of work that may or may not require licensing. Yeah, absolutely. I actually do have licensing for my business in both states. But what they can't figure out, it's a lot like Tyrants Beware, staying anonymous. In my state, which is where I'm registered, um, which is where my business started in Indiana, you were allowed to have 6 different business titles to your business. Um, Early on, when I started my business, I decided that I didn't want to go with the title that I originally came up with, and I got licensed under. So everyone knows my business name is Above the Cut Construction Remodeling, but nobody knows what my business name was originally licensed under, and I'm going to keep it that way. They've already done extreme damages to my business just knowing what they have known, what they do know, and I ain't giving it to them. I ain't gonna give them the opportunity to hurt us any worse. Just like someone said today, um, your address and social security number, driver's license number, and date of birth and everything's already been put out there. Why not tell everybody? You need to tell everybody. That's fucking crazy. Of course, you don't add fuel to the fire. I'm not going to tell everybody where I live. Just because it's been put out there doesn't mean I'm going to start publishing it. I mean, that was fucking preposterous that someone would think that way. I'm not going to promote my own harassment. It's ridiculous. What do you all think about that? And this is someone who acted under the guise of supporting us at one point in time and also fell for the whole bullshit cease and desist thing. Like anyone who even halfway knows me should absolutely know that me and Tiffany would never put anything like that on paper or even say it aloud or even say it to each other. We wouldn't. It's ridiculous. Watch the man ask another man for permission. It's a good question. I think out of respect, maybe. Hey Vicky, you're here at the end of it. This isn't going to be long, guys. Tiff has to get back to her schoolwork. Um, and so, yeah, what I reported at the DA's office, I signed as my own witness. It just like a cop would sign as the acting officer. I skipped that step. I signed as my own witness. I signed as the person turning in the charges. I take full responsibility for it. Everything I said was accurate and true. I have the probable cause to back it up, and I am going to push it. Um, and that's just another tactic, what you saw in the video. That's just another tactic for the Blue Line gang to cover for each other, telling people you can't do it here. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if police tell you you can't do it somewhere else, if you're 100% sure that you are correct about the elements to the statute and you have proof of it, you should do that too. I mean, because the other option is to get, damaged. Or in our case, potentially killed. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to end up getting hurt, and I'm trying to avoid it. I'm the one doing the respectable, responsible thing. Me and Tiffany are. We're the ones trying to do what they should be doing, which is trying to catch these crimes now before it gets out of control. And it's already out of control to us.
Same here.
I can't go 5 minutes without getting a threat over the phone. I had to make another police report just today over a guy that has been calling relentlessly, some crazy son of a bitch from Kentucky, who's a fan of Wrangler's channel or Kaiser's channel or whatever. Just a complete fucking weirdo who calls and makes very serious threats, extremely serious threats. And I also reserve, Diesel wants to say hi. I also reserve making these police reports for the things that need to be taken 100% seriously. So it's not like I'm calling on everybody, everybody. I'm not calling because people have opposing opinions. I'm not calling because one person one time says, I'll kick your ass or something. I'm not doing any of that. No. even though someone saying that they'll kick your ass actually is illegal. I don't call about that kind of stuff. I call when it's serious. I will do a report on somebody if it's serious. And unfortunately, they put us in the position to need to have no choice but to. Would you like to come say hi, or are you just trying to get me to take you outside to chase cats?
I'm in the same
You don't want to say
position.
hi to Diesel? Don't knock my computer over. Come here. He ran to the kitchen. I was going to let him come over here and get in the camera, but he took off to the kitchen.
But I can't get any
Maybe he wants a treat.
I can't get
Probably.
any resolution myself,
What's up?
or resolve anything, with my own situation. Just knowing that this goes on with until I see some accountability, till I know something is being done about the problem. I'm sorry if you have the ability to ignore a problem like this and not do anything, or just make up an excuse and say there's nothing can be done. Uh, I I refuse to accept that. Sorry, that's absolutely um, unacceptable. And like when you see a species in the wild, right? A, a group of animals, like say monkeys, right? They can't do a certain thing. Whenever one monkey figures out how to do something, right? One monkey figures out how to get the fruit out of the tree or something. He just thinks outside the box, right? All of a sudden, all the other monkeys start doing the same thing, right? So the way I see it is we just you know haven't figured out how to to penetrate their fucking gang, their blue line gang, right? They think that they're invincible. Um, no, there's always a solution. Where there's a will, there's a way. It's just a matter of time before before one person, right? One person is able to, you know, take action and take a few steps and hold these people accountable. As soon as one person does it, that's it. It's over. It's game over, right? I see it happening right now. There's too many people already trying and speaking, and the court of public opinion is now on the case. You know what I mean? The court of public opinion, right? That's where this subject is already being discussed. So, elections coming up very soon. This is the time. Now is the time. If there ever was a time, now, right now, if you have knowledge about this, or any evidence about this, you have your own case and you have your people that you know to be involved and corrupt, um, take your evidence and take it to a rooftop and fucking get a megaphone and just start telling everybody you fucking know right now. We have to take advantage of the opportunity right now.
What's up, Let's? All right. So that's it for this one, guys. I do want to link.
All right. So you get the point, right? Um, I'm not going to drag this out. I just wanted to, you know, highlight their situation, highlight, a few things. Like I said, I can see the patterns of putting the patterns of behavior together by different groups of people, because you have to do this for some of the people that aren't going to take their own initiative to do it. Um, make it clear and easy for them to see so that they can't ignore it anymore, because we have to. We have to. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to put it together for you, so that you guys stop buying into that we're all crazy shit. You know what I mean? We're not mentally ill. Okay, this is happening. These people are doing it. And if you are one of the people that don't like what I'm saying, and you think what I'm doing is wrong, and that I'm bad for speaking out against law enforcement and shit like that, I'm sorry, you chose wrong. You're on the wrong side right now. Right now you're on the wrong side. Okay? Law enforcement isn't bad. The system isn't bad, you know. It's the people. The people have been corrupted. The people that are in there. And if you're in there and you have knowledge of something, you better fucking speak up, because the hammer's coming down very soon. Very, very soon. So, stay tuned, but whatever you do, just remember, be good, or be good at it. Peace out.